Millions of years ago, long before humans learned how to brew beer or sip wine, nature itself invented alcohol. The culprit? Tiny, invisible organisms called yeasts. These little creatures love sugar. And when they feast on the sugar in rotting fruit, they produce something powerful, ethanol, the same kind of alcohol that fills your favorite drink today. This process is called fermentation, and it's older than humanity itself. But here's the twist. Our primate ancestors didn't run away from that funky, fermented fruit. Nope. They started seeking it out. Around 10 million years ago, something incredible happened. A mutation in the genes of African apes allowed them to digest ethanol 40 times faster than before.
Why?
Because alcohol wasn't just fun, it helped them survive. Ethanol made it easier to digest food, fight off harmful microbes, and yes, it gave them a little buzz on the side. Fast forward a few million years, and humans start catching on. We stumbled across the same thing by accident. Fruits left too long became intoxicating treats. But while monkeys were happy just stumbling into happy hour, humans had bigger plans. Little did we know, we were about to turn fermentation into one of the most powerful forces in history. Let's jump back 9,000 years. Somewhere in ancient China, people are experimenting with rice, honey, fruit, and maybe, just maybe, noticing that when left alone long enough, something magical happens. Scientists digging through old clay pots from that time found chemical traces of the world's first known alcohol, a kind of primitive wine. This wasn't a fluke. This was intentional fermentation. And it didn't stop there. By 7000 BCE, humans across the globe started unlocking alcohol's secrets. In ancient Mesopotamia and Egypt, beer became a staple. They brewed it from cereal grains, handed it out to workers, even included it in daily rations. Yes, the people building the pyramids probably had a pint or two after a long day hauling stone. Meanwhile, in Greece and Rome, wine flowed freely. Grapes grew easily there, so wine became as common as beer in Egypt. Different regions used whatever was on hand. In South America, they made chicha from grains, sometimes spiced with hallucinogens. Mexico, they brewed pulque from cactus sap. In East Africa, banana beer and palm wine. In Japan, rice became the basis for sake. Anywhere you found sugar or starch, you found fermentation. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Alcohol wasn't just about fun. In ancient times, water was often dirty or dangerous to drink. But beer and wine were safer. Add to that the extra calories and nutrients, and booze became a dietary super drink. By now, alcohol wasn't an accident anymore. It was a tool. A way to survive. A way to build civilizations. But humanity wasn't finished. Something even stronger was about to hit the scene. For thousands of years, fermentation had one limit, the yeast. No matter how long you left the process going, the alcohol content would max out at around 13%. After that, the yeast would die, poisoned by the very ethanol they created. So, how did humans break past that barrier? Enter distillation. In the 9th century, Arabic scientists started boiling fermented liquids. Here's the trick. Alcohol boils at a lower temperature than water. When they captured the alcohol vapor and cooled it, they ended up with a much more concentrated liquid, spirits. It started as medicine. A few drops of this fiery liquid were said to heal wounds, kill germs, and maybe even cure disease. But soon, humans realized something else. This strong stuff didn't spoil. It could last forever. It could be traded, stored, shipped across the world. By the 1600s, spirits were fueling global trade. Rum made from sugarcane was traded in the Caribbean. Brandy and gin crossed oceans. In Africa, they were exchanged for land, goods, and tragically, even enslaved people. On long sea voyages, sailors added brandy to water barrels to keep them fresh. Alcohol became a currency, a preservative, a weapon, and a symbol of power. All from a simple process of boiling and capturing vapor. But who knew? It all started with rotting fruit and hungry yeast. By now, alcohol wasn't just a drink. It was everywhere. The Neolithic Revolution, the moment humans switched from being nomads to farmers, may have been fueled by a shocking motivator. Some experts argue it wasn't bread that drove early agriculture. It was beer. Think about it. Beer provided hydration, nutrition, and a nice buzz after a hard day's labor. Why settle down and farm? Because brewing needed grains. From Mesopotamia's beer halls to the Egyptian pyramids' breweries, to the massive winemaking operations in Greece and Rome, alcohol was baked into every ancient society. By the 12th century, Italians perfected distillation further, creating early forms of modern spirits. Whiskey appeared in Ireland by the 1400s. Champagne popped onto the scene in France by the 1500s. Caribbean plantations birthed rum. And by then, alcohol wasn't just cultural, it was global business. And yet, here's the funny part, the basic recipe never changed. Yeast plus sugar equals buzz. From tipsy chimps to trade empires, all of human history has been shaped by a process nature invented long before us. So, who invented alcohol? Nature did. Humans just learned how to use it, and we never looked back. Tell us what you think in the comments section. Like and subscribe.